Let's touch base with Newzroom Afrika's Moagi, who attended that breakfast. You've got a bunch of happy learners, but parents as well. Tsahawacho.
Absolutely, Dudu. Good afternoon to you. So it really was celebratory. You know, that particular breakfast that these learners were treated to by the Minister Angie Motshekga, together with the Deputy Minister and the Director General. And, you know, as you heard there from the Minister, really telling them that they've done extremely well as they are now part of the top achievers for the Matric class of 2022. Having spoken to some of these top achievers, they said that the only thing that has gotten them to this point is that they worked extremely hard to get to where they are today. Actually speaking to one learner, she says to us from the Eastern Cape, she mentioned to us that she actually had this dream from grade 8 to be here today. She had told herself year in, year out that she will be part of the national team when they are announcing the top achievers, and she's here today. So very excited for her, and the parents also saying that the support that these learners need is, you know, it was a bit more because they are the grade 10s and 11s of 2020 and 2021 respectively. But I'd like to bring in now the NYDA. We do know that they work quite hand in hand with these learners as they try and pursue their career paths going forward. And I'm joined by Asanda, who is the Executive Director. Thank you so much for your time this morning. So Asanda, I mean, you know, as the NYDA, you do a lot of work when it comes to these young people. What pathway or what suggestions would you give to some of them as they exit Matric?
No, thank you very much. I think one, you know, on behalf of the agency, we want to congratulate the class of 22. You would know that they would have been working under quite difficult and unique circumstances. So we want to also encourage them where we're able to give the necessary support through the initiatives that we have available at the agency. So it happens in a two-pronged approach, because we've got a particular cohort of young people who would have made it through this particular year, academic year, and who are financially deserving or in need of financial assistance. We've got your various stakeholders, your NSFAS that we work closely with. We've got bursary opportunities, as well as working and linking them with international scholarships. But then we've got a group that is most often in the discourses neglected, and that is those young people who do not necessarily, unfortunately, make it through this academic year. What then happens to them? And at the agency, linked to the department's Second Chance Matric program, we are working with your various organizations where we are able to, one, break the cycle of this outer dependency wherein you know, the education system is seen as one in isolation. We want to get more young people involved in community work in those particular schools. We do understand that the education system is marred with various challenges, your dilapidated infrastructure, your overcrowding. So what we're able to do at the level of the agency is to bring in through our National Youth Service Program, wherein we'll be able to train those young people, and so they'll be able to be skilled in one form or the other. Two, they'll be able to give back to those communities in the form of your assisting them to develop your vegetable gardens, assisting to eradicate the dilapidated infrastructure, as well as post that they'll be able then to create linkages with the market, because now we would have skilled them and capacitated them that they are in a position to be more employable. And with that, then they're able to, for instance, register on our National Pathway Management Network, which we see it as a network of networks where we link in your prospective prospective employers with opportunities that these particular young people can register on, and they can form part of that particular network.
Just your message to the Matric class of 2022.
So my message really would be, one, you know, we always lament about having a situation where young people are seen to be detached from society. But what we've seen in the past 2 years, particularly with this cohort, is that young people are resilient, and that despite the challenges, you know, there's no challenge that is insurmountable for young people. We are a youth that is resilient, and through, you know, your agencies such as the NYDA, we're able then to give the necessary support to those young people so that they're able to ultimately change their material conditions for the better.
All right, thank you so much, Asanda, there from the NYDA, just giving us those details, of course, about the work that they do as well. I just want to quickly bring in Dudu, a young man that has really flabbergasted everyone that is here this morning and this afternoon. He's got scrolls for days on his blazer. And I just want to ask my colleague Luanda just to show you the scrolls of this young man that is standing right here. And they are, this is all for 2022. Best learner for physical science, best learner for mathematics, best learner for English first additional language. So you're really just the best learner at your school, aren't you? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Yes, I am.
So how did you get to this point in your life to make sure that you are the best learner in your school, but also that you make it here to be part of the top achievers?
Well, I didn't expect to be among the top achievers here, but then to be the top achiever at my school, I had to work very hard, spend sleepless nights in order to grasp each and every knowledge that I can grasp. I also think that my schoolmates, they played a very huge role in me becoming the top achiever at my school, Them coming to me, asking me questions, also improved my vocabulary because I come to know things that I wasn't aware of, things that I thought they were not important, but then they seem important. And also some of my classmates, they will teach us in class, sometimes you might understand the learner more than the teacher. So yes, my classmates were one of those kind of learners who would teach us in class, and I will also sometimes take over teaching class, and that helped me really much.
And how did your parents support you?
Well, my parents supported me very much. They gave me emotional support when I needed it. As we know, Matric is quite draining. Yeah, many mental breakdowns, I can say. But then they were always there, motivating me, telling me to keep going on. And that made me to keep my eye on the prize, on getting my Matric certificate with very good marks.
Yeah. You speak about mental breakdowns. How were you able to deal with that? Because we know that with COVID-19, it brought about the talk, more of the talk about one's mental health.
Well, with my mental breakdown, I just told myself, it's okay to be nervous, it's okay to be stressed, but then at the same time, I must not allow that to distract me. I must be focused at all times. Knowing what you want, knowing what you have to do, that helped me go through my mental breakdown.
And what's your plan then for this year?
Well, I'm planning on studying actuarial sciences in the best university in the country, University of Cape Town.
All right, thank you so much and all the best. So there you have it, Tutu, one of the top achievers here with all those scrolls here, planning to study actuarial sciences. And that's really something that most of the learners here have actually said that they are also planning on studying because of, the love for mathematics and the love for physical science. So we'll get more then from the Basic Education Minister later today at about 6 o'clock when she makes that announcement of the pass rate for the Matric class of 2022.
A big congratulations to them. Thank you very much for that update.